Okay, the next part I'm going to do is what I've done is I've removed the screen connection here, which is the same double clasp idea. So lift it once, then push it again. Just remove that side, and then also on this side I've removed the touchscreen connection, which is basically it's a pull clasp. So just pull each side gently, and this piece will slide out. Also on this side here, I've removed the power plug, which is just tucked underneath. You can see the pink wire, and then this board just lifts right off. Just put it out of the way. That's the power wire I removed a second ago, and then you're left with this, which is the panel. Now I figured out the reason why the opening in that is more than 7 inches. Okay, and the reason is this panel here is a bog standard 7-inch TFT with a touchscreen panel overlay. And what I've done is I've just released these 4 clasps, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that has allowed me to basically now just lift the screen. So if I just tip that over, the screen comes out. So that is the panel. That is all this screen is made up of, basically. That's the main screen panel. If you're removing it again, if you want to sell it, don't put any fingerprints on it. They're a nightmare to try and get off. This one is in perfect condition. There's not one single fingerprint on it. As soon as you get a fingerprint on these, you're basically scuppered. You'll never get it off. Also, do not touch the inside of the touch panel again if you're wanting to sell it. This one is pretty much in perfect condition. There's not one single mark on the inside. Also, try to keep the dust at bay. You don't want dust getting between the screen and the panel, because you'll end up with basically what looks like bits on the screen that you can't get off. Okay, so that is the panel. I say it just looks like a standard. Don't know what spec it is. I'll have a look on the internet. It's got some codes here. Exactly what type of panel that is. So I'm just going to put that to one side. And this is where we work out the reason the screen is slightly bigger than 7 inches. And that is because there is a black frame running all the way around the screen, which you can't really notice when it's still together. You see it better there. You see the black edge, the black border. This touch panel is actually bigger than 7 inches because the touch area extends further than the screen. That is a very good way of ensuring that you can reach every corner of the screen with touch. PC touchscreens, such as my Q1, which is here, are phenomenally well known for not being able to touch the corners. For example, the Windows cross to close a program. You like this, you never can do it. Denso, who build these devices, have ensured that the touch panel actually extends further than the screen, so you'll always be able to get touch the furthest corners of the screen. I'm very impressed with that. To be honest, I've been very impressed with the whole unit. Very, very high build quality. That's probably why they're probably nearly £2,000 if you've gone buy one from Land Rover. All these individual bits, extremely impressed. Very, very easy to take apart if you just carefully take your time. This has took me about half an hour while I've been recording this. So that's where I'm pretty much up to. My plans now for this, I still need to decide which screen I'm actually going to buy to put in this unit. But I think this frame here, I will either try my best to remove this glass panel without breaking it. I think it's just glued on around the edges, so a little bit of time and patience and that should lift right off. What I'll do is I'll buy my screen first that I'm going to fit in this. I will dismantle the new the screen that's going to go in. I'll test fit it into this panel before I try and remove that. Before I try and remove this, because if it doesn't fit, there's no point me basically wrecking this, because once I've removed this, I can't sell it as a spare part. If not, if it doesn't fit in this, I'm going to have to slightly rework the design, I think, but it won't be a major issue because we've still got this frame here. By looks of it, this fits round there, that way. So it's slightly bigger than 7 inches anyway, but it'd be perfect if the panel, most panels, most of these, this is a panel, are relatively the same size. The frame might just need a little bit fettling or tweaking to fit the new panel in. So I'm confident that once I remove that glass touch panel, it'll all fit back together. I still have the nice black border that sits around the edge of this. In fact, while you see I've got that out, what I've done is I've started to remove the buttons. This is the left hand side button, so let's put that back together, is that there. Because as I said at the start of the video, my plan is to get these buttons to connect to the car PC, so that all these buttons will do exactly what they say on them. I've got some hardware already called an Epic board, which is basically it's a multi-input output board for analog and digital connections. So basically you can have a momentary touch switch, which is one of these here, which is a push to close here. And basically the pins on these switches connect to the Epic board, to the pins on the Epic board, and when you press one of these, it closes a circuit which, depending which pin it is connected to on the Epic board, sends a command to the PC. So that top button could be set to, I don't know, open Internet Explorer. Next one down could be start button. Anything I think that you can control, any commands on the PC. So I started to dismantle it just to see what I had to play with. I think it's going to be a little bit more complicated than I originally thought. Build a new circuit board. This one's going to be a little bit more complicated. I've removed this already. This black shielding, which is the volume switch. And underneath here, underneath this cowling, the actual bit that turns is not the centre column. There's a little like ring at the bottom here, where you can see that smooth plastic. That is actually the bit that turns when you turn the knob. So that's going to take a little bit of time to replicate. Again, with the power button and power LED, my initial idea is to use this as a hard button, basically, to turn the PC on and off. So if in the unlikely event the PC crashes, hopefully, knowing Windows it probably will, you can just hold this down, and that would basically be the same as replicating holding the power button down on the front of the computer. So holding the power button down, it will be the same thing. Also, there's a little LED inside there, a little red LED, that will basically be the equivalent of the LED on the front of the computer for power. So it will light when the PC is on, and obviously go off when the PC is not on. I have thought about trying to interface directly to this board after looking at it. There's obviously the pins, connected pins here, and obviously their associated wire. So that may be an option we can go down, depending on what output that board is. If it's an analog output, which I'm looking at this and it's very much doubtful it is, looking at all these microchips on the back, I could somehow maybe interface directly to this board, and then you get the LEDs working as well on here, because these little white boxes are LEDs, which basically light up the buttons at night. So it'd be nice if we could interface this. It's going to take me a little bit longer. I've not even started on this part of the project yet. Although I have an Epic analog digital control board from a different project I worked on a couple of years ago. So my plan is to use that Epic board. It's an interface over USB for, as I say, analog buttons, which these are basically analog buttons. Whether it'll talk to this, I have no idea yet, but that is definitely further on down the line at this minute in time. So I'll be putting that back in for now, screwing it back together, and I'm mainly concentrating on that big gaping hole in the middle where the nice new touchscreen is going to go. I bought this unit. It's out of 2008, even though mine's a 2005. I'm just praying that these colours match up, because it looks slightly darker. In fact, it looks a lot darker. But there's less like metal speckles in this than what I think's in mine. My car's currently in the paint shop at the minute, having its bumper repainted because some nice lady decided she'd reverse into my bumper. So when I get my car back at the end of the week, I will compare the silver colours. But hopefully, if not, I'm not sending it back. I'm not doing anything else with it. I'm just going to put it in, and if I can't stand the colour, I'll try and find an aerosol or something of the similar colour as the other thing, and just give it a quick spray. But now I've got the frame, this project can move on. I've built an awful lot of the actual software now that's going to run on the screen. If you've seen my previous videos, I think we're up to video 4 now. Next part of the actual software I'm working on at this minute in time is the GPS aspect of it, because originally I said that I would try my best to use the BMW standard navigation system, and I don't think that's going to be possible at this minute in time, due to the actual plugin that runs the iBus communication between the car PC and the nav computer doesn't currently support that level of iBus control. To get that level of iBus control would either be almost impossible due to obviously the different options in that navigation system. At this minute in time, I've spoken to the person who makes the plugin, or emailed them I should say, to try and get all the other requests done, such as the average speed, if you've seen my other videos, the changing the speed from kilometres to miles per hour, and adding in all the other options, such as full DSP control, because obviously you would lose control of the DSP amplifier once you disconnect the BMW screen and fit this. Yeah, full DSP control, full remainder of the control of the onboard computer. Once I've bought my screen, you've seen it dismantled now, you've seen all the component parts. Okay, so that is basically the end of this update. Well, more how to dismantle a Range Rover touchscreen. Once I've decided on the screen I'm having, and I've got it here and I've dismantled it, I will do another how-to of how to fit the screen into this gaping hole. I'm learning as I go along. This is not something I've ever done before on this scale. I've fitted car PCs before in the past in previous cars I've owned, but this is the first time I've ever gone full OEM looking and integrated it to this type of level. So I'm learning as we go along, dismantling this thing. I've recorded it as I've dismantled it. I haven't dismantled it before and then recorded it. This is as you've seen it, so it is quite easy to dismantle if you've got one. So as soon as I get a screen, I'll make another video of working out how to fit it to this hole. Okay, thanks for watching.